Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Everett Hoffman, and today we're going to talk about 6 different types of camera moves, what they are, and what they're called. Now this one's a pretty big pet peeve of mine, and that's mainly because I'm a huge stickler for terminology. But have you ever been working with someone and they say pan the camera up, or turn the camera over here, or tilt the camera to the side, or pan, 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 pan. Pan. If you've worked as a videographer, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if you're guilty of saying these things, then stop it. Stop it right now. Now, does this ultimately affect my understanding of what that person wanted me to do? And no, not really. But still, knowing the proper terms for these camera movements is a huge thumbs up in my book, and you'll sound a little bit more professional on set, and it might help you communicate your ideas with your team a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm done ranting for today. So what are these 6 camera movements? And those are a truck, a pan, a dolly, a zoom, a pedestal, and a tilt. Up first is a truck movement, and that is a side-to-side movement where the camera is physically moving from point A to point B from side to side. And that can be done with a track or rail system, or you can do this with a slider. In this case, I'm using a slider. Next is a pan. Now don't get this confused with a truck. A pan is also a side-to-side movement, but the camera isn't physically moving from point A to point B. The camera is actually stationary on a single point. And what happens is the camera is rotating on that single point from side to side. And that's gonna look like this. And you can achieve this pan by using a tripod. Next you have a dolly. And a dolly is when the camera physically moves from point A to point B. And that's gonna be a forwards and backwards movement from point A to point B. And you can achieve this by laying a track or rail system, or you can use a slider. In this case, I'm using a slider. Next, you have a zoom, and this can be kind of like a dolly, but the camera itself doesn't move from point A to point B. With a zoom, the camera stays stationary at a fixed point, and the lens itself zooms in and out. And this can be achieved with a tripod and a zoom lens. Next you have a pedestal, or what's known as a jib or a boom. And with a pedestal, the camera is physically moving from point A to point B. And that's going to be a vertical movement where the camera is physically moving up and down. And you can achieve this with a jib arm, or you can go handheld and move the camera up and down, or you can throw your camera on a stabilizer and move it up and down. In this particular case, I'm going handheld and I'm moving the camera up and down. And finally, we have a tilt. Now don't get this confused with a pedestal. With a tilt, the camera isn't moving from point A to point B. The camera is actually locked off at a single point, and the camera itself is rotating up and down from that single point. And this can be achieved with a tripod. So that covers 6 different types of camera movements. And again, this terminology isn't something that you need to know. It's just a nice to have whenever you're trying to communicate your ideas with a team of people. So that's all I got for this one. Tune in next week when I cover the difference between a T-stop and an F-stop. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite camera movement is. As always, like and subscribe for more content like this. Skiddly bop that bell to be notified when I post another video. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.